What's up, everybody? Canuck here. We are playing some Out of the Park Baseball 23, just released earlier this week. And we are starting a new YouTube series around it, a new franchise-based one where we are going to try to take a team to the promised land. And this year, I want to do something different. I've been doing Mariner saves the past couple of years. They haven't gotten too far, admittedly. I want to go farther with this one. Because I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. I've spent the last few hours working on an expansion save. So I'm going to walk you guys through what I have done to the league. If you can see here, we are going to be revitalizing the Montreal Expos. Look at that beautiful updated logo I've found. So yeah, a little bit of a rebrand of the Expos. So yeah, I'm going to walk through how we did realignment. We have added 2 new teams to the Major League Baseball. So we're going to walk through that. I'm going to walk through for you guys kind of my whole settings, what I'm using, how I play the game. And then we'll get into the expansion draft. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. So let's take a look at our game settings first. I'm just going to quickly show you guys my settings. Nothing much different, really. I just don't like the stars, so I do the 20 to 80 increments of 5. Not too much different here. I just make the aging speed a little bit lower, and I up the talent change randomness a bit. I make the trade difficulty a little bit harder. We are going to need to make some trades in order to get the Expos into any sort of competitive team over the next year or two. So that's going to take some work. And I think that is really about it in terms of settings. So not a whole ton going on there. All right, here are the 32 teams in the MLB here as of 2022. The other expansion team we have added with another little bit of an international touch. We've added a Canadian team in the Expos. The other international team will be the Mexico City Chupacabras. They will be playing out of the AL West. So as you can see, fewer divisions, but more teams in each division. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do 8 divisions of 4. I went with 4 divisions of 8 instead. I did make a couple little tweaks as a couple teams have switched leagues. So we'll take a look at the AL East is going to have Baltimore, Boston, the White Sox, Cleveland, Detroit, the Yankees, the Rays, and the Blue Jays. In the West, we have the Kansas City Royals, the Los Angeles Angels, the Milwaukee Brewers making a move from the NL back to the AL, Minnesota, Oakland, Seattle, Texas, and the expansion Mexico City Chupacabras. In the NL East, the division we are going to be in, we've got the Braves, the Cubs, the Marlins, the Mets, the Phillies, the Pirates, the Nationals, and us. Now, I did really think hard. Do I want to be in the same division as the Blue Jays? Get some real country. What am I trying to say here? A bit of Canadian rivalry going. That's what I'm trying to say. But I did decide to go kind of back to the classic Expos in the NL, Jays in the AL. I did keep it that way. Hey, we can change it if we want. But for the first few years, I think we're going to do that. We may realign again, but who knows? And in the West, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, Cincinnati Reds, the Rockies, the Houston Astros making their way back to the NL. So as you can see, the Milwaukee and Houston switched leagues. They kind of went back to their original leagues from years and years ago. The Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, and the St. Louis Cardinals rounding out the National League West. Only other slight change I have made to the league structure is with the playoff. So I did customize the playoffs. So just with extra teams and fewer divisions, we did have to mix some things up. So the winners of each division will get an automatic bye into the divisional series, and then there will be 4 wildcard teams in each league. And those 4 wildcard teams will go at it in a best of 3 wildcard series. And then it is a best of 5 divisional, best of 7 championship, and best of 7 World Series. So maybe a little bit of tweak. I like a little bit more playoff baseball. Best of 3, I think, over best of 5. I think that'll be interesting. All right, so just a quick look at the Montreal Expos organization. We have created a whole set of minor league teams. We took some logos off the Out of the Park baseball website that are awesome. Our AAA affiliate will be the Butte Mountaineers. They're going to be playing in the Pacific Coast League. The Asheville Spitfires playing in the AA Southern League. Then we got another Canadian team. The Kelowna Silvertips will be in the Northwest High A League. And the California League, we have the Escondido Waves. And then we have an Arizona Complex team. And then a couple Dominican Rookie League teams. Similar format with the Chupacabras as well. And in terms of our owner, we've got Justin Lomax, 57-year-old, bringing baseball back up to Montreal. And as you can see, he's giving us a little bit to work with. He is lenient. We're going to need that early on, as this team is going to take a little while to get off the ground, I believe. Charitable, which is pretty big. Yeah, charitable's good. I just kind of rolled with the punches. I didn't edit this at all. I just kind of went with whatever. He's hands off, and his priority is more profit, which I think is good because that's going to allow us to hopefully make some more moves in free agency down the road. And just a quick look at money coming in for the Expos, with our owner being a little more charitable. We are going to have a decent little budget to play with, not a massive one, but starting with about $150, and that charitable definitely will help in future years for sure. So hopefully we can keep playing well and add to that budget. All right, here we go. The stadium has been built. The minor league teams are in place. The major league teams are ready to go, but we do not have any players in these organizations. So we will be obviously drafting for the Montreal Expos. And yeah, it's going to be a 35-round expansion draft. The protected players, that was all pretty default as to what the game had it set for. Now, I really don't have any high hopes for this. I haven't actually taken a look at who's going to be available, but my guess is going to be there's not going to be much. Really, my plan for these Expos is to really kind of try to focus on some shorter contracts, or things that I can trade for prospects, because we know right off the bat for the first few years, our prospect pool is going to be extremely thin, and we're not going to have much talent either. It's going to be very hard to build a winning ball club in the first year, even first 2 years, which is probably why we're going to zoom through the first year or two pretty quickly. But you guys will have to let me know in the comments as to what you would like to see. Okay, without further ado, let's get going with the draft. We are going to be picking second. And I mean, let's just take a very, very quick look. Top guy on the board looks to be Craig Kimbrell. I mean, a lot of pitchers, a lot of relievers. I mean, best position players are going to be in the 50 overall, 50 potential. Really not a lot to work with. So we'll take a look, and I am going to take this, pretty seriously. I'll even show you guys. I've got a little, I've got a spreadsheet that I use. I use these for my fictional inaugural drafts, but I do have a little spreadsheet. I do want to do this, as well as I can, and I'll let you guys know who I pick. So without further ado, let's get going. All right, with the Montreal Expos' very first pick in the expansion draft, we are going to be selecting Reese McGuire, catcher from the White Sox. I mean, I did really like McGuire in Toronto. What I'm a big fan of here and why I'm choosing him first it's very hard to find a good, solid defensive catcher. And Reese has that. He also has this personality class that I really like. Captain, could be a leader of our team. He may be one of the few guys that we might actually hold on to for more than a year or two. So I do like Reese. He's got a decent potential. I mean, he'll be the easy starting catcher for us. His hitting's not great, but it's all about this defense too. Salary's also nice and manageable too. Going arbitration next year. Salary of only $700,000. So I am pretty happy with this opening pick of Reese McGuire. Our next selection will be our number one starter. At least he'll probably be our opening day starter from the Houston Astros. We are going to be grabbing Framber Valdez. Probably the best pitcher on the board here. Salary's just $3 million. It's very, very, very manageable. Again, another arbitration guy. Really solid movement here. He's got that sinker, curveball, changeup that are all really solid pitches. The control, stuff's okay. But I do like that he is an extreme ground ball guy. He does got a good bit of stamina. The low adaptability, well, we'll have to see how that goes. But I'm okay. I'm okay with this pick. So Framber Valdez will be the first pitcher of the brand new Montreal Expos. Another former Blue Jay is going to be coming to Montreal. It's going to be Rowdy Tellez, first baseman. Now, what I like about here, we got some upside. Obviously, it's with the hitting. He'll be a serviceable first baseman, but strong work ethic. He's a spark plug, so I'm really looking for these positive personality bits here, especially early on. We want a very cohesive unit because there's going to be a lot of movement, and we need to keep some of the core guys remaining positive and bring some good things to the clubhouse. So Rowdy Tellez is off to Montreal. All right, our next pick, and as you can see, we're the talent level here. This expansion draft has dropped off quite a bit already. But we're going to try to see if we can find some diamonds in the rough here. And we're going to give Jose Rojas a try. 29 years old. Again, I'm trying a little bit more for youth, but I don't really want too many guys over 30, at least to start. But a little bit, definitely some upside here. Looks like a solid hitter. Plays most of the infield positions. Pretty solid defensively as well. Spent most of his years in AAA, had 61 games in the majors for the Angels last year, but he's going to be getting a lot of time at the start. Our next pick, our second pitcher, we're taking from the Yankees, Nestor Cortes. Now, Nestor's interesting, just low velocity, extreme fly ball, which is a little worrisome. But we just got to hope that control there, and he does have some pretty solid control. He's got a really nasty curveball and changeup. He's got that high adaptability. He's got high loyalty, too. Well, we'll see how long he lasts, but we'll definitely get some good use out of him in the early part of the Expos time in the majors. So Nestor Cortes is an Expo. All right, our next pick is going to be left fielder John Bertie from the Miami Marlins. A little on the older side at 32, but the salary's pretty decent. I do like his speed, good steal. Should be a bit of a menace around the base paths if he can get on base. I mean, he's not a great looking hitter. Numbers, as you can see, not great. Last year, he only hit .210 with 4 home runs, 19 RBIs in 85 games. So, I mean, not a huge upside, but hitting-wise, but we got the speed, and he can play almost any position. It looks like we can plug him into a lot of different places. So, we're going to give him a try. But yeah, John is a new member of the Expos. Our first bullpen arm for the Expos, and it is going to be Matt. Is it Wisler? I'm not sure, actually. But yeah, he's got a very, very nasty slider. It looks like controls decent, some decent stuff. He is a free agent at the end of the year, so he might be a real good, or a somewhat good bit of trade bait to see if we could maybe land a couple prospects here or there. But yeah, Matt is in the bullpen for Montreal. Okay, our next pick, as you can tell, I really like Blue Jays, and actually didn't see this guy. I probably would have picked him even higher, but Santiago Espinal, shortstop for the Toronto Blue Jays, left unprotected. He had a really good season for Toronto last year, hitting .311, which is pretty solid if you look at those batting ratings. They're not great, but if you can, hitting .311, that's pretty decent. Now, was that a fluke? We'll have to see. But yeah, I like a lot of things here. Can play second, play third, can play short. Even a little center field, got a little bit of speed. Nice friendly contract. I'm all in on Santiago. Let's go. Okay, back to the bullpen, and we're going to take a look at Darian Nunez, who's actually on a minor league contract, but that will be most likely a major league contract. Really like the stuff. He's got 4 really, really good pitches. Yeah, pretty happy with this. Looks like he's only played 6 games in the majors. That doesn't look like it went overly well for him, but we'll see if a bit of a longer stint up in Montreal will do Darian good. For our next pick, we are going to grab Tim LaCastro, Speed Demon, from what I remember, although maybe not so much anymore. Speed's okay, but I remember him in MLB The Show being like super fast. Am I thinking of the right guy? Anyway, whatever. So yeah, LaCastro, he's got a solid contact, gap power. Speed stealing pretty decent too. Can play a little bit of everything. He says he's a first baseman, but he's probably gonna play left field for us or right field. Looks like a really solid leadoff guy, to be quite honest. So, Tim is our newest Expos member. All right, next up from the Reds, we are gonna nab our Destis Aquino. Apologies for butchering these names. We'll have to learn them. Love the home run power. That avoid K's is a little scary. Did not hit overly well for Cincinnati last year, only hitting 190. But 10 home runs in 84 games, so we'll see. He's also got that high work ethic and adaptability, which I like. So he may be a solid potential middle to bottom part of the order guy for us. But we'll see how it plays out. All right, we got another starting pitcher, and this one I don't know about. We're just taking a gamble on Nick Pivetta here. Probably one of our highest paid players at almost $4 million. Maybe he's Canadian. Maybe that's why I was drawn to him. But he's got 4 solid pitches, decent stamina. I think he'll hold his own as our number 3 pitcher. I think we've got 3 pretty solid pitchers actually to kick the season off. So, but that low leader work ethic is the part that really scares me. I'm hoping he doesn't clash too much with the clubhouse, but we're taking a gamble, and he could always be potential trade bait, potentially early on in the year. So, Nick, for now, you are an Expo. On a nice little utility player here in Chris Owings, who had actually a solid little 20-game stint for Colorado last year. So that's actually kind of interesting. Not a great bat, but he can play a lot of different positions fairly well. And he's got some speed as well. So we'll probably throw him in the infield somewhere where I don't know. But yeah, welcome in, Chris. And to be quite honest, I mean, the pool is drying up here. So I think what I probably will do is I'll finish off the draft on my own, and then I will show you guys the team once it's done. All right. Well, we finished up the expansion draft. It was like picking at scraps, really, but we have managed to put a ball club together. Obviously, we'll have to sign some minor leaguers, but it's going to take a while to build up this organization. But hey, we've got a team that we can put on the field, and I mean, it's not a terrible team. If you take a look at it, just a very quick glance at team position rankings, I mean, hey, I think solid. We've got a pretty solid bullpen. I mean, we're in the top half of the league for the bullpen. Pitching needs a little bit of work. We got a very, very young shortstop, which we'll talk about here in a second. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to go off of, but in comparing us to the Mexico City Chupacabras and how they did, I mean, they seemed to go a little crazy on. They went with some injured guys, and I noticed they went with some. They took on some salary as well, and we certainly did not. If you can see here, as you can see here. We managed to get this team through with a $31 million payroll. So we're running on not much here this year, but that's okay. That was kind of the plan. And we'll take it from there. So let's just do a quick run through before we end the video on what close to our opening day lineup is going to look like. We'll start with the pitchers. So we've got Nestor Cortez, Framber Valdez, Nick Pivetta. We picked up Jacob Nix, as well as Josh Lindblom, who is a bit more of a veteran. We had to get one guy over 32. So yeah, that's my rotation. We got Weisler, Barlow, Jordan Romano. Actually, I was pretty surprised he was available. Again, another Blue Jay. Camilo Duvall, Diaz, Castro, Nunez, and Fetty, I believe. A lot of minor league guys, or guys that have had a cup of coffee in the majors, but they're going to get thrown right into it here with this Expos team, a very young Expos team. Quick overview of the lineup. So we will probably have Tim LeCastro batting leadoff. I think he's a really good, solid leadoff guy. Espinal will bat second. Tellez will be our cleanup guy. And then we have Aquino batting fourth with that home run power. We'll have Willie Calhoun and Matt Beattie kind of sharing the fifth spot, as they're kind of going to do a little carousel with Rowdy Tellez with first base and DH. I'll have to take a closer look at that. We've got Chris Owings at right field, Jose Rojas at second base, Reese McGuire catching, and Jason Guzman at shortstop. Very, very young, this guy. Highest he's played was 32 games in Double-A, which he didn't do well on, but I was desperate for shortstops. He's got a pretty solid shortstop rating, but yeah, he may flounder. But we may be looking for a shortstop quick. But hey, we'll take a flyer on him. So the team is set. In the next video, we will move ahead to opening day, and we will get started with the Montreal Expos 2022 season. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And if there's anything in this video or along the way with this series that you guys want to see differently, please let me know in the comments. And we will see you next time. Have a good one, guys.